We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad.
Bye-bye.
Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Have fun. Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path. Because when you talk, they hear you.
Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV. And Jennifer here, of course, to start off your morning with our good friend James K. Hamilton in the house. Whoop, whoop.
And what are we going to do today, Dylan?
We're going to watch a video.
Oh, I thought you're... He wrote the description was, we're going to talk about some stuff. And I was like, Dylan, that is the most vague sentence I've ever heard anybody say.
But it's so accurate.
Yeah.
So we are going to talk about some stuff today.
We are going to talk about some stuff. Yeah. We got a couple local sports stories.
Yes.
We're going to talk about politics, everybody's favorite subject.
Can't wait.
Yeah, and then in the second half of the show, we have an old friend is going to be back that we're very excited about.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll just keep that at that until you get to see this human.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And as Dylan said, we're going to watch his weird video.
Watch his weird video.
It's
Yeah.
the sequel to
I got some on my eyeball. The sequel to what?
Yeah, so this
sequel.
Runaway Reagan Part 4, Part 2. Part 2 of Part 4.
This took me like 2 weeks to edit.
Part 2. Okay, so we got to see Runaway Reagan 1.
No, we saw Runaway Reagan Part 1 of 4.
Yes.
We have not seen 1 or 2 or 3.
I mean, I could show you a recap of those, but I
I'm
won't
so
play them all.
I'm so confused and there's something in my eye.
Dylan went to the George Lucas School of Naming Things.
I mean, really, all you miss is that Reagan runs. That's about it.
But we'll get to that in a few minutes. While Jen's picking stuff out of her eyes.
I don't know what happened, but something is in my
over
eye.
the weekend, the Jackson Ironmen earned their 10th win of the season over Chillicothe. In the Telegram's Brock Netter caught up with Brody Wolford and Evan Jarvis after the game. So,
cool.
So why don't we go to that while Jen
let's-
finishes rubbing her eyes?
While I go, flush my eyeball out.
Yeah, the crowd was really good, gave us a lot of energy. Had a great week of practice coming into this game. And that just set us up for a victory.
Our defense was really good. That was our main focus, really, and boxing out. And we did that.
I think we played with a lot more energy this game, and our defense got really better this game as opposed to the last time we played them. So I think that really went into it.
Yeah, we fed off the crowd. Our crowd was really good tonight, and we came with a lot of energy.
Hopefully in our next 3 games we'll come out with a lot of energy like we did this game. Hopefully come out with some wins.
Yeah, they're all 3 of them are at home, so we got to have good weeks of practices and come here ready to play.
Well, congratulations to the Jackson Ironmen on their 10th win of the season.
Man, our kids are just so amazing around here, all of them.
Yeah, and so continuing on that, this past Friday, the Wellston Golden Rockets, they'd had a little bit of a slump, but they snapped a 5-game losing streak on Friday with a 66-55 win over River Valley.
Nice.
And after the game, we chatted with Josh Jackson and Will Briggs.
Okay.
So let's check that out, Dylan.
Nice.
I mean, it's huge. I think we've lost 4 in a row now, and they've all been close. We've been right there every time, so just to pull this one out felt good, definitely.
Yeah, I think with the loss of Kyan, our team's been trying to kind of find the bearings again. We just found him with Kyan and then him going down. it really hurt. But I think tonight's a big step in finding out who we are as a team.
Well, everyone's been telling me to shoot the ball. So tonight I just said, I'm going to shoot it. And I let it fly, and it ended up working out.
I was about the same thing. They didn't close out hard enough to start off the game, so I hit one and found myself open a little deeper a couple times and managed to knock them down.
So we just talked about it. We're definitely one game at a time here out, but we're going to try to beat Westfall, and then kind of had 39 points against Athens. So, I mean, we got some things to work on to beat Athens, but hopefully we bring a lot of energy the next 2 games and get ready for tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, Athens is going to come out firing. They want revenge. They want to come beat us on senior night. And, I mean, we just got to come out and play how we did tonight. We got to play our best game.
How exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah. Those kids are, that would be, you would be pumped. It stinks when you get into like a little bit of a slump. So it's hard to like get yourself back out. And then when you do, you're like, woohoo, we're back.
Yeah, we're back. And that deserves to be celebrated.
Yeah.
And you know what a great way to celebrate is?
Send balloons.
Send balloons. So everybody, of course, have been talking about this Chinese weather balloon this week.
What is a weather balloon? Is that what we're calling it?
Weather balloon.
So sure.
So this is from NPR. Given all of the hullabaloo, major points.
Wait, say that again.
Hullabaloo.
Nice.
Major points to Greg Myrie, who wrote this article, for using the word hullabaloo as the third word in this article. Given the hullabaloo over the Chinese surveillance.
How many times can we use that in a sentence today?
Hullabaloo.
Hullabaloo.
Okay. First person that spells hullabaloo correctly in the comments wins.
We'll give you a shout out.
We'll give you a shout out. Wins a high five. Given the hullabaloo over the Chinese surveillance balloon, you'd think something like this had never happened before. But it has.
It has.
In fact, it's happened 4 times in recent years. According to
evidently nobody noticed.
According to U.S. officials, Chinese balloons crossed over the U.S. at least 3 times during the Trump administration and at least 1 other time earlier in the Biden administration. However, the U.S. was not aware of the Chinese incursions at the time. According to Air Force General Van Hurk, that's a Glenn Van Hurk. That is
that sounds
good
really
name.
bad.
Congratulations, Steve.
Good job, Steve.
That looks pretty good.
Thank you.
The head of NORAD and the officer
NORAD.
NORAD.
That's who tracks Santa. Didn't you know that?
I guess I should have known that.
Hello.
We're going to talk about Santa.
They have their own site.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Santa in February, too. He told the news conference that the military only learned of the incursions after they were pieced together by the intelligence community after they happened. So,
yeah, I mean, it's not, I guess, the first time it's happened. I think it's the first time that people actually noticed it and could visibly, see it.
Well, and they made kind of a show of shooting it down, I guess.
Yeah. That's after we let it go all the way across the country.
Fly over like 3 military bases
and
or whatever.
Fly over all of our missile sites and whatnot before we decided to shoot it down.
Yeah. But, pretty balloon.
Man, that thing was huge. What did they say? It's like 3 buses big. Like,
I don't know.
You're thinking about a balloon like a balloon.
If you could see it that clearly from the ground all the way up there.
I think they said it was 3 school buses long.
So I'm confused.
Pretty long.
I thought this was the moon originally, and then that was a satellite in front of it. But that's the balloon. So what's the satellite looking thing?
It's part of the balloon.
That's what they're spying on us with, Dylan.
The balloon is what makes that thing fly.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not the balloon. It's the what's attached to the balloon that's the problem.
So the U.S. Air Force jet fired a single missile to shoot down the balloon just off the coast of South Carolina on Saturday afternoon. The military said it waited until the balloon was no longer over U.S. territory in order to remove the possibility of falling debris could harm people.
So we're just going to
kill the... So they waited until it got everything that it wanted.
Right. They waited until it went all the way across to the United States.
Yeah.
So we're not going to. We're worried about the people, but I guess we're not worried about the fishes.
Well, I guess if you're, I suppose I'd rather crash it on fish, but if you had to crash it somewhere.
I have an idea. Why didn't we shoot it down over Montana where there's nobody around?
I mean, there's critters out there.
There's fish in the ocean. Same thing.
I know. I'm just saying, it's not a better choice.
It would have been because you would have been able to find the pieces.
I don't know. That's why I'm not the head of NORAD. So I don't make these decisions, Jennifer.
I know. You know what?
What?
They should put the person in charge of tracking Santa in charge of tracking
the Chinese weather balloons,
and we'd be all good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I know they have a Santa tracking division.
Oh, it's a whole division.
Mm-hmm.
I figured it's just one guy.
No, they have a whole website and they track him where he's at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I heard
how many miles he's traveled and all that.
So you were kind of tracking Santa recently.
I was, yeah. Well, because we went to this convention in Cleveland, and Jamie's on a board, so he had official board meeting stuff, which means no wives allowed.
Yeah, the wives had to stay at the hotel.
Yeah. So it was either I sit in the hotel room with Marley,
or
I go out and about and explore Cleveland, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are the things that you think about when you have an hour or two to kill in Cleveland, not like all day to kill in Cleveland, because, you think of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, something like that. But, that would be more like a day trip situation. So I was like, what do you do in Cleveland when you have an hour or two to kill before your husband gets done with his meeting? And I thought, a Christmas Story house.
There she is.
So I went all by my lonesome.
Sticking her head out the car window like a dog.
So I told Jamie, I said, I'm going to go to this Christmas Story house. He was like, you are? And I was like, yeah. He was like, okay, have fun with that. And I'm like, I'm going. I don't care whether you go or not. So I got all ready and I went, and it was a Tuesday afternoon. And the funny thing is, and I didn't know what I was getting into when I got there, right? Because I just showed up. And it is, so the cool thing is it's in an actual neighborhood in Cleveland.
So how far from downtown is it?
It took me about 7-8 minutes to get there.
Okay.
So not far.
So it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's very close. But just like in a rando neighborhood, like in the middle of this neighborhood. Well, so there's so much so when you get there, I thought you just walk through the house and pay them money and that was it. Oh no, it's this whole situation. So I'm like walking around. So the first thing that caught my eye was
that it costs $30 to go in.
It's 17. But they have so the guy that owns the house now, and that's a whole other story of how I got to it, and it's interesting. But he has bought up several properties around it. So there's a museum, there's a gift shop in different houses all around this. So they have the Bumpus's house, which is an Airbnb.
And that's the redneck.
Yeah, the redneck with the dogs. Yeah. So that's an Airbnb, which we didn't go into.
It was full of dogs.
It was probably full of dogs, hounds.
The hounds, yeah. He called them hounds.
The hounds. So when you get there, just so you know, you get there and you don't go into the house, you go into the gift shop, which I took a video of. And this is one room of the gift shop, but this is where you buy your ticket. So Dylan, you can show that. Now imagine these poor employees. Look at that. It is full.
Yeah. Hey,
that's
Dylan,
one room of it. There's a whole other room too.
Yeah, that's a big gift shop.
Besides that. Yeah.
So
and they're playing Christmas music the whole time, and A Christmas Story over and over in a loop, and Elf over and over in a loop.
Why Elf?
I don't know.
Just to break up A Christmas Story?
So, well, this is interesting, and I'm wondering if they haven't bought the rights to some of the... They have National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation merchandise in there, and they have Elf merchandise in there. So I'm guessing...
They figured they needed to diversify a little bit.
They have bought the rights to some of that stuff. So they're playing that stuff in there too, but all Christmas music. And the people that work in there, God bless their hearts, are so cheery. And I'm like, oh, this would just get so old so fast.
Yeah. Were they all like college kids or were they
No. So I get in there. I'm like, hey, I want to see the house. He's like, okay, well, the next tour starts in 15 minutes. And I'm like, tour?
Yeah.
And he's like,
you're picturing like the Lillian Jones Museum where
yes.
you just
like,
where
here's
you just
my money. I just walk through and I'm done. So, the short version is I milled around the gift shop and, met these two girls. They were a couple. They had driven 18 hours from Canada to come stay in Cleveland and just they wanted to go someplace warm for the weekend. Pretty much. They actually said that. Like they were like, where we're from, it's completely insane.
This is like Florida.
Yes. Met them. It was just funny. So believe it or not, on a Tuesday afternoon at 1:15, there were 7 people in my tour group. On a Tuesday at 1:15. 1:15. So tour guide comes out. They're like, meet us at the front door to the house. So and I thought, again, they're just going to unlock the door and you walk in and whatever. Oh no, he goes through this whole, it was an hour-long tour. So, and the house part of it is just a short part of it. But he goes through the whole deal. So what happened was this dude made a whole bunch of money, loved A Christmas Story, found the Christmas Story original house on eBay for sale.
Yeah.
And people were bidding on it and it got up to like, I think 100,000 or something like that. Well, somebody he knew contacted him and was like, hey, this house is for sale. This is back in like the early 2000s.
Okay.
And he's like, oh my God. So he contacts them, the people selling it. And he's like, I'll give you 150 if you take it off cash, if you take it off eBay right now. And they were like, sold. But the house looked nothing like, what it was. It had metal siding on it and all this stuff. So he had this idea to like bring it back and make it a museum and all this stuff. So anyway, he spent $250, put $250 in it, restoring it. So, when you're up to $400, whoop-de-doo in the grand scheme of things that it is today.
Yeah.
Because, so there's the house, and they had to bring in contractors. They had to gut the whole thing. Yeah. And you can actually stay as an Airbnb in the Christmas Story house as
What's
well.
What's that run you?
I don't know. I didn't ask.
Let's find it. See if we can find it online.
Yeah. But so the house on the inside, like when you walk in, there's a giant foyer and that is where, all of the stuff took place. Like, Ralphie's little brother, I can't put my arms down, and where they brought in the leg lamp and the crate. So did you find a picture of the crate? Yeah, I did. Okay. So there's a story about the crate. Oh, yeah, that's not the original one.
I will find it.
Yeah, see if you can find the original crate because there's a whole story about that. But where they and did that. So the kitchen is there where you can open up the cabinet and sit under it like Randy did, and Daddy's gonna kill Ralphie and all that stuff. And so the tour guide goes through all of these different things and all these different idiosyncrasies about the movie. But the crate, if Dylan can find it, is laying in the house with a leg lamp in it.
Yeah.
And I had never noticed it, and I bet you didn't either. On the crate, it says his end up, not this end up. And then it says fragile. Well,
fragile.
Yeah, fragile must be Italian. So when they did the prop and the whole thing, they made it so big it wouldn't fit through the door. So they couldn't wheel it through the door in the movie. Funny. So they had to cut off one side of it and then put it back together. So in the movie, it says his end up.
That's funny.
And I've never noticed that before.
Me neither.
Ever. Yeah. So there's all kind of fun things like that. There's, in the house, it's got the kitchen with the turkey sitting there. And then you can go upstairs and there's the bar of soap sitting there in the bathroom and all that. Yeah. See, his end up.
That's funny.
Yeah, thanks, Dylan. Fragile must be Italian. So yeah, they had to cut that off. So that's from the inside of the house looking out onto the street, and that's the leg lamp sitting there. And then if you can show the picture of the front of the house again, Dylan, you can see it just the same as the old man. I don't know if you can zoom in on it or not, but same street. I mean, that's where they stood out looking when, and then
glowing electric sex in
yes,
the window.
That one. So when the
neighbor gives them the dirty look and goes back inside or whatever.
So the neighbor, so that's a whole other story.
Okay.
So the neighbor was either the director or producer of the movie. And if you look in the movie, it was supposed to be set in the 50s.
Uh-huh.
If you look in the movie, and this was just a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah.
The guy walks up and says, what are you doing? He's like,
Uh-huh.
it's a major award or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Dude's got on like a Miami's Dolphins sweatshirt and stuff. And the Miami Dolphins didn't even exist till like the 70s.
Probably, yeah.
So it's just like goofy things like that that they pointed out that I was like, oh, I would have never noticed that ever. So it's just kind of fun.
Yeah.
So it's worth it.
Why would someone in Cleveland be wearing a Dolphins sweater anyway?
Right, exactly. So, and the funny thing is, it's either the director of or the producer. I think it's the director of the movie hadn't done any other popular movie except for one. I don't know if I told you what it was or not.
Oh, I don't think so.
And the only reason this movie got produced is because the guy agreed to do a sequel of his first movie that he didn't want to do. So think of A Christmas Story, nice sweet family movie. And this guy's first movie was Porky's.
Oh, that's funny. Who directed Porky's?
I don't know. Look that up, Dylan. And so the studio wanted them to do a Porky's 2, and he was like, I don't want to do it. It's not my jam.
Bob Clark,
yes.
Yeah.
He's like, it's not my jam. I don't want to do it. And they're like, I'll tell you what, we'll do your little Christmas movie if you do Porky's 2. And so that's how it all came to be. But so then you go into this, so you go across the street into the museum.
Mm-hmm.
So the all the stuff in the house is not original stuff in the house. It's just kind of like replica, looks like it. So the museum is where you actually get to see all
the actual props
stuff. Yeah, like you get to see all the outfits. And I should have taken more pictures, but I didn't even think. Like Randy's, the snowsuits in there, like
looks like a tick.
Yeah. all of the clothes that you think about, like Ralphie's jacket, whatever, is all in there. And funny story, guess who they wanted the dad to be originally? The actor. The actor was what? Davin something.
I'll guess they wanted
it would have been
what Bad News Bears, what's his name? Walter Matthau.
That would have been a really good one too. They originally wanted Jack Nicholson to be the dad. And so in thinking about that, I'm like, because he had just gotten done with The Shining. And I'm like,
that would have been funny.
But he also hit it big with The Shining, and he wanted way too much money. So they got this guy instead, who did a fantastic job, of course.
The old man.
The old man. So in the museum, there's all this stuff. There is one of the original Red Ryder BB guns there. There it is. It's in a case there. And so the question was, people asked that outfit that he had on, that rhinestone outfit.
Yeah.
And then the bunny suit. We all asked about that.
Right.
Ralph, Peter Billingsley actually was given those as gifts.
Those.
Yeah. He also has the only other known gun.
Replica.
There were 5 guns made. They know where 2 are because that's one. He has one, and they have no idea where the other 3 are. So if you've ever been to a flea market or bought a Red Ryder BB gun out there, they say that Daisy, you can call Daisy and give them the serial numbers and stuff, and they can tell you whether or not it is one. But other interesting thing, the compass and the stock and the thing that tells time, that wasn't original on that gun.
Okay.
And they did that just for
the movie?
Yeah. And he's left-handed, so they had to make him left-handed guns, which I never would have noticed in the movie either. But if you look,
Yeah.
he's left-handed.
Huh.
So they had to make him a
Okay.
left-hander.
Yeah.
Hander guns. Yeah, so really kind of crazy, all the fun stuff.
All right. So here we go. Here I want you guys to give me go over
Okay.
under. How much does it cost to spend a night at the Christmas Story house?
$250.
Dylan, what do you think it costs to spend the night at the Christmas Story house?
$100.
How much do you think it's cost to spend the night at the Christmas Story
Well, I
house?
guess it would be seasonal too.
Well, there's only one price listed on the website. But
Yeah, I'm sure during Christmas
well,
time.
okay,
it's-
well, yeah, maybe. But
Yeah.
in mid-February,
Right
what do you
now.
think it costs? If we wanted to stay tomorrow night.
I'm going to say 400.
$545 a night.
You're kidding.
Here, let me put in December and see if the price changes.
We'll even let you book it out that. Yeah, I had a feeling.
If you want,
It must be really
if
bad.
you want to check in on December 24th, it's $4,000 a night.
Hey, they got to pay for that museum somehow.
If you wait until the week after Christmas, it drops to $1,300
oh
a
well,
night.
there you go.
But you can also stay the house next door. You're
The
talking about
Bumpuses, yeah.
It has 2 suites, so it's a little bit less expensive.
Yeah.
It's about half the price.
So here's the interesting thing about that is the house. I mean,
And just for the record, it is already booked for December 23rd, 29th, and 30th of this year.
So the irony of this whole situation is that, and we asked the guide specifically, and he gave us very unspecific answers. The whole property's for sale. So when you pull up, there's big for sale signs out there.
Yeah.
And evidently, our tour guide said, because we were like, okay, how much? Like, how much is it? You know, he paid $500,000 to get the house back. We don't know what he paid for the surrounding properties.
Yeah.
Because
Uh-huh.
we don't know.
Right.
So we're like, okay, how much? And he's like, obviously this was a good investment. It well paid for itself a long time ago situation.
Yeah.
At $18 a pop, however many times a day.
Uh-huh.
So he said, the guide, we were like, okay, well, what's it going to sell for? And he said he had no idea. That he knew as much as we did, but he had heard between 9 and 15 million is what it's going to sell for.
Yeah, I'm looking here. They don't have, so it's listed on their website for sale. Trying to see if it's actually. Yeah, I don't see a
no
real
price.
Yeah, there's no like Zelle listing or
And it's
anything
funny.
like that.
There's like there's like a sign with like a number to call.
Yeah.
Like it's not, realtors or.
Well, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lots.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It takes up like the whole neighborhood, but it is a
Yeah.
neighborhood within the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean
So-
it's basically a whole block.
Can you imagine like Christmas time living on that street? I feel like you would just
Yeah.
want to just like yank your hair out.
Well, it looks like it looks like this one lot is just an empty lot for parking.
They have a huge parking
Yeah.
lot, which is
So-
great.
Yeah, so at least they're not taking up, street parking and stuff.
And then, and I didn't realize that there's an empty lot in between that house and the Bumpus's house. And so everyone's like, oh, that's not right. And the guy's like, yes, it is. If you actually pay attention in the movie, there is an empty lot between that and that. So there's
Okay.
a parking lot, empty lot, then the Bumpus's house. And then there's a cute little bar across the street there, which is called, I forget what it's called, Rowley's Inn. I think it's Rowley's Inn or Rowley's Inn. It's been there, a neighborhood staple for 100,000 years. And it was just, strangely enough, on diners, drive-ins, and dives. So it has its own little claim to fame.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
So you have not seen the new sequel, right?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, so there's a bar in the sequel, and we were when we saw that picture, I was like, oh, is that the one from
Flick's Tavern?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to find it right now, and I don't see anything.
Dylan pulled it up earlier. It didn't look the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
I must have
Because
missed
we
that
were
then.
thinking, oh my gosh, is that Flick's Tavern? Like,
Yeah.
is it the same thing? But no. And unfortunately, because I was going to just march my butt right up into the Rowley's Inn too while I was there. I mean,
Yeah.
how many other times am I going to be right there?
Uh-huh.
And unfortunately, it was closed for remodeling.
Oh,
and
that's
I
a
was like,
bummer.
bummed. So anyway, but it's if you check out their menu and their story and whatever, it's certainly been a neighborhood staple there for 100,000 years. So
yeah,
pretty cool. So yeah, it was honestly, it's one of those things that like I would not be like, oh, I want to go like every year and look at that. But I'm so glad that I went and saw it, and it just puts a whole different perspective into the movie. I was like, now I need to go home and watch the movie again to like see all of these weird things that he pointed out, that like the dude in the dolphin sweatshirt and all that stuff. So yeah. But so anyway,
yeah,
that was my adventure. I went all by myself. They're like, okay, who else? I'm like, I'm just here by myself. But the girls from Canada were a hoot. They were fun. So yeah, they were cute.
So you know what tonight is?
The State of the Union.
State of the Union address. And you know what that means?
Insanity.
I was going to say it's time to decide what our State of the Union address drinking game rules are going to be.
Yes. So Caitlin's here. Oh, I just gave it away.
Yeah. Well, I think Dylan gave it away in the comments too.
Oh,
I did.
you did?
Okay,
I don't feel
so it's not
bad.
that big of a, it's not really a secret. Caitlin's back, and I'm going to move in just a minute and let her talk.
But no, so I overheard Matt talking about drinking games and Josh over there for the State of the Union address. So are there specific ones, or do we need to make up our own drinking game here on the program for tonight's State of the Union address?
I think we're probably going to have to make up our own.
I'll bet.
Yeah, just
Caitlin said we just need to, pregame and get drunk before
exercise your civic duty with the State of the Union drinking game.
Okay.
All right. So this is from the Independent.
Love it.
The rules of the State of the Union drinking game are simple. 1, acquire some alcohol. The game will be played with any wine, beer, or liquor of your choosing, but we recommend something domestic to get you feeling patriotic.
Drink some Busch Light. It'll be great.
Yeah. Hot button topics will call for different numbers of drinks. Drinkinggame.us suggests 1 drink every time a word like coronavirus or taxes are mentioned. The community now has a State of the Union drinking game that asks players to take a sip every time they feel the applause has gone on way too long. All right. So here are the rules. 1 drink every time he says "Build Back Better," "Jobs," Russia, Putin, or he coughs. You take 2 drinks every time he says "Here's the deal," COVID, or inflation.
Okay.
And you take 3 drinks every time he says Trump, come on, man, or January 6th.
Dude, you'd be hammered within the first 3 sentences. It'd just be like chug-a-lug.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
No, we need to add balloon in there too.
Yeah. If he says balloon, you finish your drink.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta down it. That's it.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty good.
No, I think I mean, that's enough to get you going.
Sure is. We're not gonna be going very good tomorrow morning though.
Who's our guest tomorrow?
Holzer.
Oh God! Well, thank God they can save us all.
Yep. Tell him to bring an IV. We're gonna
we're
gonna need some fluids. But yeah, so I think that's a pretty good one.
So here's the deal. At the end of the day, do you watch the State of the Union or do you not watch the State of the Union?
No, you just gotta listen to the news coverage the next day.
That's the way
that just
I look
highlights
at it. Is it not
what's
just
important?
It's kind of like the Grammys. It's just a train wreck that you just don't want to sit through. So
it's worse than the Grammys.
You wait for people to make fun of it the next day.
Well, the thing where they're talking about with the applause is going on for too
or every time they stand up.
Oh my gosh, it's just like whichever they're just like, well, they're trying to be like obnoxious about it. They're like, oh yeah, we're like it, and it doesn't matter which side it is. It's just like they've got to just like play it up so much.
They're just
and it's like come on, man. Like even if you agree with that statement,
come on, man, drink. He said, "Come on, man."
Did it really like necessitate a 5-minute standing ovation?
Yeah,
because it's funny, but yeah,
so my dog got its stitches out today.
Yeah, so brave. Yeah. Come on, man.
Dude, and you wonder how many times he'll say Trump during the thing or blame Trump during the thing or whatever.
I don't know. I think he's mostly pretty good at not talking about Trump anymore. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Well,
but
as you said, we have a returning friend of the show today, and I'm tired of talking.
Oh, whatever.
Well, got a lot of opinions. No. So I'm going to give up my seat.
Okay.
To one of our favorite.
Yes.
Past and now, once again, current Total Media family members.
Yes, that's right. Come on over, sweetie. So our sweet little Katie is back. Woo!
We're so
first time
in the new studio too.
Know. Welcome.
It's like so upgraded and fancy.
I know. We have like
it.
Stuff up there. Yeah. We have stuff.
So
and we have an intern
now.
and everything.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
I know.
Moving up in the world.
Yeah. So you took a little bit of a hiatus and had to have a baby and all that stuff. And after spending a year home with said baby and said other child, you said, I need to get back into human adult life a little bit.
Definitely needed that. Yeah.
But no, it's so good that I'm sure that you enjoyed every second of having the luxury to stay home, with your baby and for the first year of her life. And then
yes, definitely.
But for yourself, you need to get out and about into the land of the living as well.
Yeah, because a lot of women don't really talk about it, but like you have a baby and you just go through all these changes and the hormones are raging and there's just a lot going on and different changes. So it's been exciting to kind of get back in the land of the living again and kind of use my brain in a way that's not just being a mom. Because, that's about all I've done for the last year or so, which I love. I love my babies. Don't get me wrong.
Raise a human life for the past year. Like people don't give mothers the credit, I believe, that they deserve.
I agree. Yeah.
Not only are you changing and all of this stuff is happening to you and your body and whatever, you still have to keep up with the housework and keep up with keeping this child alive.
Right. And trying to be a wife and, all of the things.
All of those things.
And definitely the biggest transition for me was, I have a little Joshua who is 5 now. And so transitioning to being a mom of 1, which I thought I had down pat. Pretty good
no
there,
problem. This is easy.
Then 2, and it was just like I was not prepared for that transition.
Yes.
I was not prepared for that because here I am with these 2 little lives that deserve every ounce of my being, and I'm like, I'm stretched so thin, like I'm pulled which ways. But Joshua, he did really good with the transition of becoming a big brother, always wanting to help, and he adores his little sister, and she adores him. It is the cutest thing. There's nothing like watching your kids together and just love each other. And I mean, I know within the next year, it's going to start changing a little bit because she's taking interest in his toys and things like that. So I'm waiting for that change. So we'll see how that goes.
But, it's just fun. And it's, just watching it all evolve and how it works. And Joshua was at a good age though to have a new baby come in because he can help you out a little bit.
Yes.
He's a little more independent. So that was good.
Yes. I'll never forget. We brought her home from the hospital and she was a month early. And Joshua did so good. And we get home and he went to go play in his room, and all of a sudden we look in there, we were eating dinner or something, and he's just in there crying. Like all of the emotions, I think, just hit him like, oh my gosh, like it's different. It's not all about me now. And that broke my heart into pieces. And within 5 minutes, we're like, buddy, like you're still our boy. And, he was fine. But that was like a heartbreaking moment as a mother. Just like.
It would be, but it's so glad that he dealt with it and didn't hold it all in and act out or whatever.
And now it's really funny because he's going to preschool and last year I had no problems with him going to school. It was like, see you later, mom, bye. Like,
yeah, I'm out.
Yeah. And this year, like, he had a little bit more issues. And when I was staying home at the last parent-teacher conference, his teacher's like, no offense, but when he cries and gets upset, it's because he misses his sister. It's not you. So I was like, well, no offense taken, but I just thought that was sweet. Like,
that's all right. Just go ahead and stab me in the heart. Yeah. It's fine.
I mean, I'll take it.
No, he is a doll, and so is she,
Yes.
and you all are just so blessed. So
We are.
But and it's interesting. I mean, I don't have children, so I don't understand. I have a puppy, and that doesn't count, but it's somewhat similar.
Well, you have your old Archinetti's children.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Adopted.
That was a whole other story. But yeah, I was talking with my niece who just recently had a baby, and I was in a conversation with her and one of her best friends who had also had a baby that was about a year old, and she said, I remember the friend telling her, like, don't get frustrated with yourself when you feel weird or like, because you're going to have issues. You're going to have depression issues, and you're going to have all of this body changing stuff happen.
Yeah.
So like, we all just need to stick together. And so I was talking to my niece the other day about it. She's like, yeah, it's kind of weird. No one wants to talk about any of this stuff. And I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't get it. And then,
like, why aren't mothers like,
yeah, I don't know why, if it's just like this unspoken thing, or we don't want to bum out like these pregnant women, like, oh, this is what you've got to look forward. Like, I don't know,
or you don't want to like put more of a burden on like your husband or whatever it is. I don't know.
And a lot of
it, just strong.
I felt a lot of guilt. Like, here I am with this perfect, healthy little baby that, some women would just die to have. And why am I feeling sad? Like, so I don't know what it is, but I think we definitely need to talk about it more. We had that case recently with Lindsay Clancy, who honestly, I haven't even read the whole story because it's just so sad. But like, from what I'm understanding, like, she was in like this postpartum psychosis, and she had actually went to a doctor. She asked to be admitted into a hospital. She recognized, like, I am not okay.
Yeah, like, I am not me. I don't know who I am.
Doctors, I don't know the full story of this, so I might be just talking BS here. But from what I understand, the doctors just kind of brushed it off, didn't help her. And then within a couple days, like, she like strangled her baby. Like, I don't know. It was just a really sad story. Like, she hurt her children, and she was a labor and delivery nurse. So this is somebody who's well educated, postpartum, and these things.
This is somebody that's clearly not themselves.
Yeah. So here she is. She goes and hurts her little children, and now, one, she didn't get the help she needed. Two, her life is completely ruined. She's probably not going to ever get her children back from this.
And her children's lives are ruined.
Yes. And, this isn't the only case that this has happened. So I hope that this allows people to take a step back and kind of say, okay, what do we got to do to fix this?
Yeah.
Because, you get one
be dismissed.
appointment. Yeah. So you get... when you have a baby, like 6 weeks later, you have your one checkup. They give you this little form to screen you for postpartum depression. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, like answers. And that's all they do. That's all it is. And then they send you on your way, and you never go back until you need to go to the OB again. So I think something somewhere needs to be evaluated.
That's a really good point that you make. And, I know, like, with my niece again, because we've talked kind of about this, and she's like, I mean, even at the hospital, you have this child, you give birth to it, and they just are like, okay, bye.
Yeah.
She's like, what?
What do you do with this thing?
Like, I have to keep this thing alive, and like, you can read all the books and whatever, but it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And they just send you home, like, and some girls are sending home the same day now.
I know, and that's insane.
And I just so credit to you all ladies out there that are having babies and running your lives and keeping up with all that stuff, because I can't even imagine. So welcome back to work.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
She's like, it's a break.
Yeah, it is. I'm like, yes, I'm getting a break. And honestly though, like, I noticed last night, like, I feel like I really needed this because I felt myself like I feel like I'm gonna be a better mother again because I'm not.
Does your world get small?
Very small. Like
Yeah.
I've been in Katie's world for over a year. Don't necessarily like I just don't go out and do a lot. Like my biggest socialization would be going over to my mother-in-law's house and just sitting and talking with her. So it gets lonely, and it's not like I don't have friends, but my friends all have,
Everybody has their
everyone's
own
busy,
lives.
and
Yeah.
it's not like they are not there, they don't care. It's just everybody's got their own thing going, and it's just I don't know.
Well,
it's
when
a
it goes
weird
back to
place.
to girls, I feel like we don't want to burden other girls with our
Right.
problems, which is so bizarre.
I know. I don't know why we're like that.
Because I feel like girls feel like they have to be the strong ones of the relationship or the strong ones of the
I agree. Yeah.
emotionally.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
but if you called up your friend and said, I need help or whatever, they would be there.
in a
But none of us
heartbeat.
ever do that.
Yeah, and I don't know why. Like
It's
yeah,
so silly.
it is a silly thing. So I don't know. It's getting
See,
my
we
mind's turning
just
here.
ask Caitlin and Jen. Well, it's like Dr. Phil right here on
Yes.
the program.
Well, since he's, I heard he's going off air here soon. So
Probably.
there we go.
Yeah. So we'll just have our own show.
Yeah.
What do you think about all that, Dylan?
I didn't know Dr. Phil was going off the air.
That's what he took out of that whole conversation.
So maybe he's saying we probably shouldn't
Yeah,
try
probably
to be Dr.
not.
Phil.
Maybe we're not
Yeah,
as,
you guys
as
can be
in-
doctors, but I didn't know Dr. Phil was leaving. When did this happen?
I don't know. Google
Oh,
it and see if
yeah.
he is or not.
I don't know. I saw it on Facebook a
Oh.
couple days ago.
I mean, it was
Oh.
on Facebook. She saw it's real.
Must be true.
So welcome back. No, you were part of our Total Media family
Yes.
here for many, many years, and then of course took the break.
Yeah.
Well, you actually went to the auditor's office
I
for a little
did.
while,
So I
which
think-
you loved.
I did. I worked for Tiffany Ridgeway, our Jackson County auditor. I did the real estate work there. So that was a whole new learning experience for me. When I say I knew nothing about real estate, I mean, I knew nothing
Yeah.
about real estate. So I learned a lot of stuff working there. Tiffany, she is so knowledgeable. When I tell you, like, we've got a really great person for that job, like, I mean it. She works
Yes.
hard. She knows what she's doing, and she really cares about the county. So
Yes.
she was a great person to work for. All of those ladies were wonderful. I worked there, I think, about a year and a half, and I
Yeah.
had Eliana. And, just with the way society is now, it was kind of to the point where I would have been working to pay somebody else to take care of my kids.
Sure.
And that just seemed silly to me. Like, what? No,
Yeah,
I don't
just
want to
do
do
it
that.
yourself.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
rather just do it myself. So my husband and I decided that, that was the route we were going to take. And, so the last year I've been momming it up. And then
that.
when this opportunity came, I was really excited because I'll kind of get the best of both worlds. So I will be, before when I was here, I was on the Telegram side of things, doing
Yes.
circulation and things like that. So now I'm coming back and I will be the traffic director. So I'll be on the radio side of things. So I'm learning a whole new. So I'm excited to kind of learn a little bit more about that. And I get the best of both worlds because once I get trained and back into the swing of things, I'll get to work from home some and then come in here some and see your beautiful face. So
Yay!
I'm excited for that. So I still, I'm not going to miss out on those moments with my kids, but I got a job and I feel like I'm getting back to Katie.
Sure, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so you get that adult, interaction and, of course, get to spend a
Right.
couple of days a week home with the kids. And
And not to mention
That's
the
awesome.
prices of eggs. Like, my goodness. Like, I had to get back to work.
I know. I swear. So I feel like I get a discussion in once a day about eggs with just
It's
rando
crazy.
people. It is crazy. And so
Yeah.
Jamie and I are spoiled because his dad has chickens. So he always has brought us eggs. And
Yeah.
so I was walking through Kroger one day and I was just walking past the egg, turning the
Yeah.
corner there. And there was this couple there, and man, she was just going to town. I mean, the swear word. It was
Uh-huh.
like, woo! And I was like, what is she so mad about?
Yeah.
And then I looked up, and she was like, frickin' eggs, but I don't think she was saying
Yeah.
frickin'. And, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, this one's $7. And I was like, backing up. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Dozen eggs is $7? Are you kidding me? Like,
so I went down the chicken conspiracy TikTok because I needed answers.
I forgot you're our TikTok queen as well.
So basically what I found is a lot of these chicken owners, like there must be like chicken owner Facebook groups or, whatever. And a lot of them were talking about like how usually, in the winter, chickens don't lay as many eggs anyway. So,
right.
But they had all kind of said like from September to January, they weren't getting any eggs at all from their chickens. And they start talking. And basically what they discovered was like the feed that they were feeding their chickens. They're kind of trying to say that maybe there's something in this feed that is causing these chickens not to lay eggs because a lot of them went back to letting their chickens like free range, and they're laying eggs again.
Yeah. Because they're happier chickens.
So I don't know.
Well, I can tell you. So my father-in-law, same thing. Like he, would feed his chickens scraps from the restaurant and whatever. And they run around during the day. He puts them in at night for their protection.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Lets them out at the same time. It's so funny. There's a chicken schedule.
Oh, Randy.
Yeah. Randy's got his chickens on a schedule. But anyway.
I believe it.
You would, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
But you get one of his eggs and like the yolks are like as orange as the sun. Like, I mean, they don't look anything like store eggs. And I'm like, okay, these must be some happy chickens.
Yeah.
Very like, there's a reason why the yolks are so bright and vibrant and whatever. And so you have to think that if they're eating good things that they're doing, it's the same as us. Put good things in our body, good things happen.
Exactly. So yeah, I went down a chicken conspiracy hole. So I learned all about that.
So now you know.
I do.
You know.
Well, I needed to know because my husband and I, we're eventually going to be building our own house and we want to get our own chickens and goats and all of the things because, we're kind of rednecks and, we hunt and we really just want to be able to rely on ourselves.
Kind of live off the land.
Yeah,
situation.
Not have to worry about all these outrageous grocery prices. So I'm kind of starting my research a little early and it's just mind blowing that I am really terrified for my kids and what they're going to have to grow up with.
Yeah.
Which
I guess our, parents were terrified of what we were going to have to grow up with. And it's all relative, but it definitely is different. And,
it is.
You think about the stuff that's in food and I don't know, man, if you can grow it yourself, go for it.
Right. That's another rabbit hole I went down, but we'll save that for a different show.
Hey, we'd do a whole show about that. So, okay, back to your job here at Total Media. So you went from the telegram side over to the radio side, and you said you're going to do traffic. And so people are like, there's a wreck out on Main Street and
go this way.
Yeah. So can you explain to everybody what traffic at a radio station is?
So so in a nutshell, I'll be the one that is making sure the commercials are playing when they're supposed to be playing and answering to that mean JJ that is in charge these days. So yeah.
You know him, don't you?
Yeah, I know him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
He's kind of like your uncle, right?
He is. I mean, I was hoping maybe people had forgotten about that, but yeah. So
that nepotism.
But yeah, pretty much I'm scheduling like the commercials and making sure they're playing.
Make sure they're in the computer and all that stuff too, and making sure everything's going.
Yeah,
the right
so
direction.
I'm excited to learn more because, obviously growing up with JJ around, radio has always been around. I've always heard about it. I remember even being really young and the Nut Hut being on air.
Yes.
And all of that craziness. And I also remember my mom bringing me down to the old radio station building and getting to go in and seeing them. So it's kind of cool to come full circle and be learning that. And
it's like coming home, isn't it?
Yes, it really is like coming home. I told Courtney that when I met with her about the job. Like, I feel like I'm coming home. There's a lot of new faces here, but there's so many familiar faces. So I'm excited to be back. And there's just kind of like a new exciting buzz in the air around here too.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see, and there's a lot of exciting things going on here. So
there are.
Yeah, I picked a really good time to come back.
You did. And so it was so funny. I didn't know she was back. I don't know how I missed that whole well, it's because I was gone for 2 weeks or whatever. But so I'm walking by over here and I look in and I kept walking and then I'm like backing up.
Wait a minute.
I'm like, what are you doing here? She's like, I'm back.
Yeah,
then
we
I'm
had
like
a moment.
tearing up because I'm so excited to see you. And
Yeah,
so
it was a moment. So
yeah, it was a moment. We get excited to see each other. Yeah.
Yep. So
well, good. Welcome back. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
This is great because, and James and I are very, very excited because now we have someone else to fill in for the morning show.
Well, when I'm here, I will gladly do that for you.
Oh, goody. Katie can do it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll just go down all the conspiracy rabbit holes and things.
Yeah. So when you're sitting at home raising children, eating bonbons and watching soap operas all day long, it might be a little stressful, I guess, coming back to work. You have to get out of your sweatpants and
I had to, I really did though. Cause like when I started staying home, I went on this organization kick. No, but I put all my work clothes up and I almost went through and sold them all. I was like, I want rid of these. I just kind of decluttering. And I told my husband, I'm really glad I didn't get rid of those work clothes.
Yeah. Oops. Then I would have been shopping again.
Yeah. And then I would have been in trouble. So
yeah. Well, welcome back. We're so happy to have you here. And I know your kids will be happy that you're still home a little bit. And so Eliana is home with Dad right now.
She is.
Which is a hoot.
Yes. Good old Dad. He got to experience a messy diaper change for the first time yesterday. And I'm gonna go ahead.
Been home to do it.
I just gotta go ahead and tell on him. He told me he had to. He's got a weak stomach.
This is such a good story.
He told me he had to go get like a paper towel or a towel or something and sprayed it with my perfume to put on his face so he could change her. That's been my job from the beginning. We talked about that when I found out I was pregnant. He's like, Katie, like that's gonna have to be you. Like
I can't do the poop.
And which I knew this because when Eli and I first started dating, one of the first times he babysat Joshua for me, and Joshua was still in his pull-ups. I was actually working at Total Media, and Eli calls me, and I hear Joshua cackling in the background. He had a number 2, and Eli had to put him in the shower and spray him down. He's like, I can't do this. So yeah, I got a kick out of it. I have to say.
She said when she got back, he changed the diaper. God bless his heart, and it was on backwards.
Yes, he did have it on backwards. Now, in his defense, we cloth diaper, and they are kind of confusing.
That would be confusing.
And I've never really shown him the ropes. I just kind of assumed he knew. So you know what? She didn't leak out of her diaper, so it worked.
Backwards, forward, it doesn't matter. He had it on there.
He got it.
Yeah. Good job. Eli, we're proud of you, buddy. She's like, he's probably just gonna have to call me, and I'm gonna have to go home and
it is what it is.
But
yeah.
Oh, that's
TMI.
so funny. Yeah, right. No, it's just a funny
that's
story.
what everybody wants to hear about in the morning.
No, it's a thing though. Like, so people have their quirks, right? Like for me, and I think this is probably why I never had a kid. Spit and vomit.
Oh yeah.
I can't.
It's a different level.
Whoo, I just can't.
Yeah.
Adult spit, baby spit. Just
Yeah.
I'm getting sick thinking about it. But I can do poop, no problem. So dog poop, kid poop, whatever. It's fine.
I'm with you on the puke thing. I don't care if it's my kid or not. Like it's disgusting. Like we actually over the weekend, poor little Joshua got sick. He's got a bunk bed. So I had to climb up in his bunk bed to clean this. I've got like one of my old like cloth masks from COVID on my face. And and then I felt like dirty for like a day. Like I had to get in the shower. Like I still just didn't feel clean and
it's touching me.
That's the one thing. Like I felt like super mom, like up into the point that I have to clean puke and it just all goes downhill. But somebody's got to do it because it's not going to be Eli because he can't handle that
he
either.
Can't do it either. It's like all relative. Like it's stages of who can't handle what.
What I really wanted to do, like Adam Sandler and Big Daddy, where he just puts the newspaper, pretends it's not there.
It's not there. It's fine. Yeah, the puppy threw up yesterday, so I just took a whole rug, watered it up, and threw it in the washing machine. I'm like, I can't clean it. I can't. So Jamie's like, "Where's the rug?" I'm like, "In the washing machine. Don't ask."
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. So, yep. Hey, whatever floats your boat, man. But it's funny how people are just different.
Yeah. And then some people it doesn't bother them whatsoever.
No.
And props to them for that.
Yes. More power to you.
Yeah.
So, well, good. Well, welcome back. We're so happy to have you here.
Happy to be back.
And I'm sure that you'll be seeing more of our sweet Katie running around here in the studio and or just here in the building somewhere.
Yep.
And she is an amazing asset to the company. So we can't be happier to have you here.
Well, thank you. I'm excited to be back.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's 10 o'clock. We have to get out of here for the day. We hope that you've enjoyed this show talking about stuff and things. And hey, if you're real bored tonight, watch the State of the Union. Drink while you're doing it. Lots of drinking games. Make up your own. It's totally fine.
Maybe take an ibuprofen. So you can go to work the next day.
Yes, all of that. Yeah. Drink lots of water. Take a drink. Beer, water, whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So, all right. Have a great day, everyone. We'll see you right back here tomorrow with some friends from Holzer.
Bye.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, TheTelegramNews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Subscribe today at TheTelegramNews.com.
Check it out.